Hey everybody, it's me, Timmy Flyersguy, and welcome to this week's edition of Throwback Flyersguy. I'm your host, Timmy Flyersguy. In today's video, I like to go back to the time I beat the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64. This all goes back to Christmas of 1998 when I got the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for Christmas. I started the game out very slowly, didn't know what to do. Then I had a friend show me what to do, and I started getting better at the game. I did have trouble with the Shadow Temple, needed a little help with that, but when I played Ocarina of Time, it was such a fun time to play that game. Everything about that game was amazing. The graphics, the presentation, the music, the ambiance. I really enjoyed that game, and it was one of my favorite childhood video games. It took me till, I would say, March or April to finally beat that game. Because, I had school, I had homework to do, I was still a kid, I was still in school, I had a lot of responsibilities. But when I could play, I would play that game for probably hours on end, just trying to beat every single temple. I remember I beat the forest temple, and I got the forest medallion. And then the first time, I remember beating the Dongo's Cavern, which was a challenge for me. That was a very long dungeon, and I got through it. I beat the Dongo, got the second medallion. Then I went to Zora's Domain, went into the next dungeon, which was King Jabu Jabu, and that was a long dungeon as well. But I got through it, beat the boss, got all the medallions. Ended up going to the Temple of Time. I turned into Adult Link, and my next quest had to be I had to get all the medallions. So I got the first medallion, and the hardest one to get was the Water Temple. The Water Temple, in my opinion, is the most tedious dungeon in the whole game, because there's so much stuff that you have to do in that dungeon, and it took me about a couple weeks to finally beat that dungeon, and I finally did. Eventually I beat all the temples. I needed some help with the Shadow Temple. My friend helped me out with that. But I got all the medallions, got to Ganon's castle, beat Ganon. You have to beat him twice, because I beat him twice. Second time I had a little trouble beating him, when he turned into that big giant monster thing, but I beat him. And I was proud that I finally beat Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. It was so much fun. I wanted to try to beat the game again. And I think I might have did. I think I did. But I gotta tell you, Ocarina of Time, one of my favorite video games on the N64. And I gotta tell you, I miss the N64. One of my favorite video game consoles of all time. And Legend of Zelda was one of the games that really helped Nintendo 64 become the most popular system that kids and adults wanted to buy. The sequel of that game, Majora's Mask, came out. Let's just say Majora's Mask was one of the most frustrating games I've ever played. And I'm never going back. I never beat Majora's Mask because the game was so convoluted and so complicated that I didn't know what to do. So like I said, everybody, that is the time I beat The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I look back at that as a time when video games were fun, a time when you can escape into a different world with a video game. And Ocarina of Time was the video game of my childhood. And it got me through a lot of hard times. And I really enjoyed playing that game. It was one of my favorite games. Well, I'm Timmy's Flyersguy, and this has been Throwback Flyersguy. Thank you for joining me on this episode and a journey into my childhood. Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Throwback Flyersguy. If any of you guys have any Nintendo 64 stories, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you and have a great day, everyone.